Greetings and salutations, vinyl community. How are you doing? It's Dan, the vinyl geezer, hanging out with you once again. Once again today as well. I don't know if you happened to see, but I had a video go live and then it got taken away because I had some music playing in the background. It wasn't like a copyright strike or anything. It was that, you guys remember, I don't know, if you're a new sub you won't remember this, but I used to have like a microphone that I'd speak into. It's because I used to do a lot of voiceover work. Well, now I'm using this for my microphone, and this is very sensitive to background music. I had like some Buckethead playing, and I thought, oh, this would be nice, kind of cool video music, some Buckethead, throw on like Megaliths, which I listen to that a lot at work. My friend Paul turned me on to Buckethead, and I'll just have like 8 hours of Buckethead going all day. It's just great work, background kind of music, but it's kind of uplifting and positive. And being a teacher, guys, sometimes you need that uplifting, positive music in your life. It's not the best. Like this stack of records that I'm going to show you, some of these would not fit well at work. Some of these would not be good if you're a teacher. Anyway, so as usual, here at my vinyl channel, we're indeed slaying it, folks, and not in a good way. I tend to really just slay it constantly. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Thank you to all the new subs. Also, I want to thank Cosmic Brian for the huge shout out. Yeah, I talked to Perch, and I thought he might have forgot about the conversation that we had, but I'm glad that he let you know there, Brian, that I am indeed making videos again, although maybe one a month until we kind of get back into this. I'm overthinking things again, is what's happening. So, and I'll fill you in here. So the reason you guys might be like, oh, Dan came back and then he's been gone for a month and he came back again is because I'm overthinking it again. I am working on a video right now, and it's taken a while. I want to do a video on jazz and some of my favorite jazz records. But jazz not only was intimidating to me for many, many years, as I didn't really understand what jazz was really before I got into it. So I've been collecting records since like late 2012, early 2013. I kind of got back into collecting records. When I was a kid, I had like, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, stuff like that. We'd pick them up at garage sales. They were super cheap. That's why I picked up records, because they were like cheap. Like you could get like a record for 50 cents, $1. I remember getting like stacks of Led Zeppelin and stuff. And I didn't take care of them. We had like just this crappy record player, like one of these old deals. It was like an all-in-one deal, and I'd throw records on these just terrible players, and but we mask them and everything. They were just scratched to hell, and so fast forward, you get the CDs, and then you get back into records, and eventually, if this is a hobby that sticks, like it has with me for almost 10 years. This is, you'll get bit by a bug and you'll go, oh wow, these things sound pretty good. And then you start like, well, what else sounds good? So you do some Google search. Best sounding records. And, a lot of them are jazz records. So you start getting into jazz because it sounds good, but at first I'm like, jazz, not my thing, man. It's not my thing. And I want to blame like David Lynch for it. Lost Highway. There's a scene where Bill Pullman is just, he's blowing on the saxophone, and it's just like this, it's awful. And I kind of thought that that's what jazz was. There's this guy that does videos, the Jazz Shepherd. His name is Dan as well. And he talked about that scene. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I thought jazz was. Was this just squonky, screeching, terrible, free, just ridiculousness. And it's not. It's actually quite accessible. And I want to do it the right way when I do a jazz video, as to not embarrass myself, which I'll probably end up doing anyway, but I kind of want to have a little bit of knowledge while going into that. So that's coming up in the next few videos, will be a jazz video at some point. But for now, we're just going to do some recent records, some recent finds. This is going back to like August or so. A lot of this stuff, I haven't made videos in like a year, so you guys never seen them. So I'm just gonna, I've probably got enough for like 20 vinyl finds videos since I've been gone for like a year and a half. So we're just going to do this recent records vinyl finds video, and this is just all over the place. I've got tons of genres right here in this stack of records. So let's dive in. First one. I've been looking for this for a very, very long time, and I never see it. And I'll see occasionally somebody will be like, hey, this import is available on Amazon or whatever, and it's like 40, 50 bucks. I'm like, do I really want to spend like 40 or 50 on a new reissue that I don't know how it really sounds? And there's like all this like cross information about like what sounds good and what doesn't. And I've had some bad luck with some reissues. I really have. I've had some really bad luck with reissues of new records, period. Just new manufacturing records. Unless they come from like somewhere like Acoustic Productions, if they're pressed at QRP or RTI, I'll buy those, no problem. But sometimes, you just don't know what you're getting. You're getting some rough records occasionally. So I'm a little weary about that. And I'm just going to be patient. I'm just going to wait for this record to pop up. And eventually it will, right? I mean, eventually they all do pop up from time to time. Sometimes you can afford them. Sometimes you can't. This time, I had some trade fodder that went very nicely with this. And I got Dio Holy Diver. Now, this is an original copy. I want you guys to see how clean this is. I never see this record. And when I did see this record, when I did expect to see this record, I would not have expected it to be such a clean and beautiful copy. I've been looking for this record for a long time, guys. Dio is not easy to find. Dio's not easy to find around here. And when I say around here, it's like in the rural mid-Missouri area. I live near Columbia and Jeff City. But it's still kind of rural. You don't really find a lot of that kind of stuff. You get a lot of Ray Conniff singers around here. You get a lot of, you'll find the occasion, you'll find the occasional ZZ Top, Rolling Stones, kind of your standard stuff. But Dio rarely pops up around here. So I was very excited to find this. And so I only need like a few more albums to complete Dio. I need the Rainbow album. The one with Man on the Silver Mountain. I don't know the name of that record. It might just be Rainbow. It might just be Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Perhaps. Maybe. Somebody will correct me, hopefully, down in the comments. I need Lock Up the Wolves. And then, like Black Sabbath's Dehumanizer. Which that'll get that one gets repressed occasionally. I'll see that one, and I'll buy that next time, and then it's gone, and then it's, 75, 80 bucks, and then you're just like, yeah, I'll just wait, So eventually that one will pop back up. So I was very happy to have this Dio Holy Diver. What else are you going to say about this one? Don't Talk to Strangers, Stand Up and Shout, Rainbow in the Dark, the song Holy Diver. I must have listened to this album like 3 or 4 times a day. I got it. I've been driving my wife crazy. Stand up and shout. Anyway, that was a really bad Dio impression. Please forgive that. I might edit that. Now I can't. All right, so this next record, got this. All right, so this is how awesome my wife is. So a new record store opened in Ashland, Missouri named King Theodore Records. My friend Jesse runs it. I'm in there, I'm hanging out. It's like August, maybe September, around my birthday. Anyway, we're hanging out, we're kicking it, and I leave, and there's a lot of people there, and I'm walking out, and I kind of look over to say bye. I was like, bye, and I see this album, this very noticeable record. He was kind of busy. I was hanging out, and he was kind of, we didn't get a real big chance to talk. And I came right back in, and I'm like, dude, I waited for him to, talk to some customers, check some people out, whatever. I'm like, dude, what's up with this album? And he's like, man, some guy brought this in. He explained the situation. It's an original, as far as I can tell. He's like, I think it's first pressing. It's a misprint issue. And this is an album that I've been looking for a long time. I passed on a really bad copy of this at another record store locally. And when I say Dio doesn't show up, like stuff like this definitely doesn't show up. And I'm a huge fan of Henry Rollins, and I'm a huge fan of Black Flag's My War. So I was very, very happy to have My War. And for those of you that know this album, you know that like side 1 is kind of a traditional kind of sounding Black Flag record, but then side 2 is like the birth of grunge. Basically, you're listening to this 1984 SST, Nothing Left Inside, 3 Nights and Scream. On side 2 of Black Flag's My War will blow your flippin' mind. This is like listening to the Melvins. This is like you're hearing it happen. You're hearing the birth of grunge happen before you. I would call this proto-grunge. Henry probably wouldn't call it that. They kind of talked about it being like Black Sabbath-esque, which it is. But when you hear him screaming nothing left inside like he's a caged animal, this is a phenomenal spin. And, the first side is great too. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I believe on the tour of this, they had shirts that said side 2 on them. So, this is just great. I get to meet Henry coming up in April. He's coming on tour, and I'm a huge fan. And I'm hoping that I can get Henry Rollins' signature on the back of this. And when and if that happens, I'll definitely be showing that. So I've got to get me like a yellow metallic Sharpie for that. But I hope to meet him because I got berated by Henry Rollins once. We went to go see Henry Rollins. He was doing his spoken word in the early 90s. It would be like, 93, 94-ish. So I'm there with my wife and my friend George, my friend Jason, and we go there and we are completely drunk. We're completely obliterated, and we're sitting at a table in the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri, and we're being loud and obnoxious. And Henry finally gets fed up with us. This is maybe after like 15 minutes of the show, and he's like, "All right, guys, I'm going to leave." It's like, if you guys, what is going on here? Is it's like dollar pitcher night? He said something like this. And he's like, so I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to let you guys entertain all these people for the next 2 hours. Or you could shut up. And I mean, we zipped it up and shut up. And, I'm like 18, 19, 17, 18, 19. My wife, she's like a year younger than me, so she's like 16, 17, 18. And my buddies, we're all just sitting around. And man, when Henry Rollins tells you to shut up, you will. Trust me. So I kind of joke. It's like, that's like one of the things in manhood. Just like you have to get berated by Henry Rollins in front of 1,200 people. It was great. I hope to meet him, and I kind of wonder, because Henry, if you're a fan of Henry, you know that he kind of has this. He has a very photogenic memory, and I'm sure he might have wrote in his diary that night. So I'm hoping that he will remember that, and I can kind of explain that story. But anyway, so yeah, I get to meet Henry. I got the VIP experience that's coming up in April, so looking forward to that, and we'll do an update on that record, because I do plan on taking it with me to that show. All right, this next record popped up. I had no idea. This has been on my want list for a long time. I'm a huge fan of the band Hum. They're a band out of Champaign, Illinois. They are considered one of the first kind of down-tempo, Deftonesy, kind of shoegazy, heavy bands. And I'm a huge fan. Matt Talbot, I had emailed him, and I'm like, are you guys going to be repressing this? And he's like, yeah, we are. Just hold on. And then, 2020 happened, and I thought, man, this thing is never going to get repressed. And then finally on his Facebook, he's like, hey, they're available right now at polyvinyl.com. Go get them. And it's Hum's Downward is Heavenward. Now, when you talk about Hum, there's a very important aspect of this. Matt Talbot knows, loves, and respects the format, the vinyl format, a lot. So this is a AAA title. It's mastered by Ryan K. Smith, and it sounds absolutely amazing. Not only that, the content of the record is amazing, and it sounds amazing. So, you pop this on, you hear Isle of the Cheetah, Coming Home, Miss Lazarus. It's amazing. This sounds so good. Downward is Heavenward. And for those of you who are interested in Hum and know like their stuff, You'd Prefer an Astronaut, the song Stars, Little Dipper Pod. That album is coming soon, and he got the tapes for that one, so that's going to see a triple A analog vinyl reissue soon. So just be like me, keep an eye on their Facebook, and hopefully get your hands on You'd Prefer an Astronaut before too long. Hopefully they'll have those. I know there's a lot of supply chain issues going on, but anyway, Hum's Downward is Heavenward. If you guys haven't heard of them, check out the song Stars, check out the song Little Dipper Pod, and then check out Isle of the Cheetah, and like Coming Home by them. And then they have a new album that came out last year called Inlet, which is just a continuation on how awesome Hum is. So make sure you check that out. All right. This next one I bought from a fellow VC member we're in a vinyl group online, and he was selling this. And I thought I missed it, but another guy backed out. He's like, all right, no, Dan, you can have it. That's Queensryche's debut EP. This is on the EMI, the Capitol EMI. This is a, very nice, very good shape. It's promo. It's a beautiful copy. I don't know what that promo stamp means, but I think it means that it's like a first pressing or something. This is actually like the second pressing of this, because this was released on another label. But Queensryche's EP, Lady Wore Black on this, Knight Rider, Blinded, and of course Queen of the Reich. Amazing stuff. Real power metal sounding record. I had this cassette when I was a kid. I don't even remember where I got it. I might have got it off a friend or at a garage sale or something. But I wore this tape out in my Walkman. So, yeah, I was a huge Queensryche fan back then. Operation Mindcrime, Rage for Order, and this. Those were like my 3 Queensryche records, So anyway, yeah. Had an opportunity to pick that up from my friend Brian over at Brian's Vinyl Records. Thanks, buddy. Great shape, too. Very happy with it. I think I played it like 5 times the first day. All right, this next band, I have to thank my wife for discovering these guys. Well, she didn't discover them, but she introduced them to the Geezer household, right? So, now, I had no idea. I'd heard of these guys. I'd seen little tabs in the store, in the record store and stuff like that, but I never really listened to this band. The band is called Lord Huron. I don't know if you guys know about Lord Huron. They're very hard to describe. How do you describe Lord Huron? They're a little bit country western, but not. They're a little indie, folk, rock, indie rock. Lo-fi, but they're not. They're a little, now this is going to be strange, they're a little post-punk, but they're not. And Mellotron, I automatically, psychedelic, almost. Because, that Mellotron, there's this song on here called Ancient Names, Part 1 and Part 2. It starts off with this Mellotron, and it's a very... it's lo-fi. It's very, and then the guitar comes in. It's very a lot of spring reverb, very very high register placement of the chords, bling bling. It sounds very harpy, and the Mellotron's going on, and like you could close your eyes and like feel like you're ascending to heaven at the beginning of this, and then it comes out with this pounding post-punk style bass line. And then this song kicks. Ancient Names, Part 1. There's also another song on here that's got like kind of a similar thing. It's called Never Ever. I really stuck on, this is a double album. I'm really stuck on the first record on this one. So I haven't let the other side absorb, but like you almost don't need to. Like the first album is good enough. Lord Huron's Vie Noire. This is still available. Don't overpay. You can get this right now. I believe on the Sound of Vinyl. You can get it for like $40. And if they're having a sale, you can get it for maybe like 30. So don't overpay for this one while it's available on the Sound of Vinyl. Because I know that's where we got this one. So, and, you know, if you count them on like their Black Friday, you know, you can get it for like 40% off. But I know they're having holiday sales and they always have big sales. So check this out. If you guys get a chance, just stream it. Stream the song Never Ever. Watch the video because it's great. And then Ancient Names Part 1 and Part 2. And then you'll kind of decide, like, I don't know. It's awesome. A lot of people say that the vinyl sounds crappy. It wasn't recorded the best. It was recorded in the red. It clips a lot. It's okay. It works. For this record, it absolutely works. So, Lord Huron's Vie Noire. I can't say enough good things about Lord Huron. I love their whole aesthetic. I love the stories, the artwork, their universe. They have a Lord Huron aesthetic. Like, let's pull out this album, Long Lost. This is their newest album. And this is the aesthetic of the entire thing. I mean, it's Lord Huron. They're an amazing group of guys, an amazing artists. They have this whole like label. It's kind of like they've invented this whole story, this whole aesthetic, and it's just beautifully done. Lord Huron. I'm telling you guys, I'm a fan. I'm a lifelong fan from this point forward. So, Lord Huron, great stuff. All right, so I was talking a little bit about jazz at the beginning of the video, and I was talking about, you know, how I didn't think jazz was really, like, accessible or for me. I thought it was, you know, like the Jazz Shepherd had said, just kind of the squonky ridiculousness that I thought jazz was. And it's these kind of albums that really excite me because they're so accessible. And I showed this artist. He's one of my favorite jazz artists, probably my second favorite, right under Coltrane, Kenny Burrell. This is the Kenny Burrell Quartet. I gave $10 for this at In the Groove Records in Jeff City, one of my favorite stores. And this is just great. This is him and his quartet. There's no Ray Barretto doing the congas on this one, but it kind of has that spirit of Midnight Blue. His tone is spot on in this record. This was put out by Cadet. I know I have one other Cadet record that is a Kenny Burrell, and that's his Christmas album, Have Yourself a Soulful Little Christmas. This is phenomenal. If you like guitar jazz, it's not going to get much better. Tender Gender, Kenny Burrell Quartet. You can get this pretty cheap. This is totally worth like $10, $15. It's a great sounding record. I want to say it was like recorded at the RCA studios in New York. So, I mean, it's got a good sound. Yeah, RCA Recording Studios in New York. Recorded April of 1966. Sounds phenomenal. It's great. Kenny Burrell's awesome. Last but definitely not least was the pick-me-up I needed Monday morning. Monday morning, I come into work. Got a week left. I am a teacher, guys, and the kids, they've got like the Christmas fever, man, and it's like spring fever, but like add a couple of Red Bulls. They've just been I'm absolutely wore out. By the time 3:30 happens, I'm just like, I'm ready for a nap. And I come home and it's just yawn fest until it's time to eat and go to bed. And it's been so I came in Monday morning, man. I was exhausted. Kind of stayed up too late Sunday. Big fan of Dexter. I don't know if you guys have been watching New Blood. If you guys are fans, drop a comment below because, man, this season has been kicking it. We watched new Dexters on Sunday night, so tonight's Dexter night. But anyway, I'm really loving this season. So we were up kind of late and I come, and my friend Josh, who I work with, we have a mutual friend, Gene and Leslie, and they had bought me a gift. I come in, and on my desk, I guess Josh had gotten in my room, and there was a box, like, a record box, like you get, like a mailer. And I was like, oh, there's a record here. What's up with this? Is this one of mine? Like, did I leave this here? Did somebody find this somewhere? But anyway, there's a card in it. and it says like Dan the Man or something on it. I open it up, and it's from Gene and Leslie. They're like, please enjoy this. We love you, man. Whatever. And so I don't know if you guys know, I'm a child of the 80s, obviously. Well, I don't know, obviously. I might look like I'm 70 friggin' years old with this, but, you know, I'm in my mid-40s. I'm 46. I'm still holding on to that mid-40s thing. It's almost late 40s. But anyway, mid-40s, guys. So I grew up, so I was like 8 or 9, 8, 7 when Rocky 3 came out. And I'm a huge fan of Mr. T. And there's a record that I've been wanting. I've never seen it. And you could see him on Discogs, but I kind of, you know, I don't know. It's just something that you don't. But anyway, Mr. T's Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool. All right, so this is, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys have seen the video for Treat Your Mother Right, or you've seen the Mr. T breakdancing video where he's breakdancing. Those songs are on this record. This guy's a great hype sticker. It's like, contains Treat Your Mother Right, I Am Somebody, and Love Each Other. And I love this Mr. T's Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool, which was co-produced, guys, by Ice-T. So 2 T's were involved in the creation of this record. So Mr. T. So yeah, that automatically put my week into, like, man, that started my week on such a great note. So Leslie, Gene, if you guys are watching, love you guys. Thank you so much for the record. I am beside myself with joy from being able to spend some Mr. T rapping, man, doing some of his little breakdance moves. You know what I mean? So anyway, you guys, if you've been watching this for like 27 minutes, I mean, you guys have a lot more patience than I do. So I barely made it through it myself. So anyway, I just want to wish peace, joy, and love to each and every one of you, and safety and health to each and every one of you in the vinyl community. And you guys just have a great, great holiday. And we'll hope to see you guys before the new year. So have a good one. Peace out. Love you guys. We'll see you later.